From the windy city skies to the bright game lights. Two bros talk ball, yeah, they live that life. Big wheel with the 5J dubs with the float. Breaking down plays, only real fans know. Pads pop, turf shakes, time to ride. Monkey stomps thunder through the field tonight. Run with a purpose, bring that pride. Chicago strong, let's ride, let's ride. Best bros, we run with a purpose. Heart of the game, yeah, you know we deserve this. Big wheel, J-Dub calling all fans. From Soldier Field to the contest stand.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Big Will.
I am J-Dubs.
And this is the Bears Bro Podcast. Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
Happy Thanksgiving, bro.
I'm just going to say, go jump right into, I got the Ultra Passion Monsters of the Midway Juice. Because
you know where you were going with that? It was Thanksgiving. I know you were giving props, before we went on camera. I thought maybe the passion was for me, but...
No, it's for the Bears. Because you know what? They gave us an early gift.
They did.
Because not only are we back to winning again, but we get to honor Mongo again by putting up the foe. Because another 4-game win streak.
4. When was the last time we had 2 4-game win streaks in the season, sir?
Probably back in the original Monsters of the Midway when we monkey stomped everybody.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you a question. It's Thanksgiving. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Absolutely.
Out there. Hope the turkey's not too dry, and I hope that you remember to take the turkey out.
See, I'm more of a sides guy because, to me, for Thanksgiving, turkey's overrated. Because, the mash, the sweet potatoes, all that, and of course the Hawaiian sweet rolls. But continue.
The Hawaiian sweet rolls, they're the best. They really are.
That's the only reason why they were invented.
Are you trying to get another sponsor? Hawaiian rolls? I think so. But let me ask you a question, sir. We've been doing this podcast now for 13 weeks. The season has been something that we did not expect. Not
even close.
Did we see 8 wins? Nope. Did we see first place? Nope. What are you
possible
thankful for,
playoffs?
Sir? Yeah, possible.
We hope for it, but actually it happening.
Yeah. What are you thankful for this season?
Ben Johnson. Plain and simple, because obviously, and the funny thing is, as I was on the way here, they were talking about the Chiefs-Cowboys game. The fact that the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator were our last 2 coaches. And how bad
awesome.
Have we been of the fact that it only took Ben Johnson putting his stamp on the team, and he did it immediately. Because you see how, yes, the Lions have their offense, they've got their weapons, but their play calling hasn't been as great, and that's why Dan Campbell took over.
Yep.
Ben Johnson, he's always thinking, and he's maximized Caleb and made him possibly the next big superstar.
I think so. You had mentioned the Chiefs, and every time I hear the Chiefs, I just have to say something real quick. Do you know last week Patrick Mahomes threw for over 300 yards?
But no touchdowns.
That's MVP right there. That's MVP.
Yeah.
Might as well just give it to him right now.
Exactly.
Hey, wait. Just before I go into what I'm thankful for this season, what did Caleb do last week?
Oh, he had a little over 200 yards, but had 3 touchdowns.
Wow, what a waste.
And
what a waste. I can't
and
believe
he
that.
didn't have to do a late game heroics again. He's tied with Bo Nix for 5-game winning drives this year.
Absolutely. The reason why I brought that up is because, we always talk every time about Chicago not getting any love, Caleb Williams not getting any love. But like I said, Patrick Mahomes threw for over 300 yards, no touchdowns. Caleb had a solid game with 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I am thankful for finally having a season to be proud of, a season that
excited about.
And I'd also like to say that last week was the first week I did not throw my phone or my laptop. Just gotta throw it out there.
His wife commented on it. It's like, because she paid attention to a bunch of the other games for financial reasons.
Yeah,
and she's like, and she was upset. I forget what game it was. I think it was the Chiefs ending up beating the Colts.
But she needed Taylor to score a touchdown.
Oh no, it was she needed Swift to get yards.
He did. Yeah.
And she was like, let her be upset. You're throwing laptops and stuff like that. You're like that guy that gets so pissed off he punches his TV.
And you're over there with your hat like this, just trying to hide from everybody. But no, you're right.
I didn't want to get hit with blood splatter.
But I didn't do it this week. But no, seriously. In all honesty, to be excited about, it's great to go out there, watch. There's no quit. I like how our team comes together. I tell people all the time, the Bills have something to cheer for. The Eagles, the Cowboys, the Dodgers, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're going to be the next dynasty. And
I don't know about that.
And as a Bears fan, we really haven't had much. 2018, it was kind of like, being that 8th grader and the popular senior girl walks by and she just, kind of like,
yeah.
And you're like, oh, wow, and then all of a sudden, nothing. But I just...
And then the double doink happened.
Yep, and then, which I still blame on my wife for buying me that shirt. By the way, I just think, as a fan, because we have so much going on, that at 8-3, nobody thought of it. Nobody even gave us more than 5 wins. So for me,
and that's if we were lucky.
If we were lucky.
But here's the one thing I will say. I'm sorry to cut you off for a second. The most frustrating thing that I keep seeing on the Facebook, I keep seeing, on all social media, anybody that I talk to keeps knocking who we've beaten.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yes, we beat the Raiders. We beat the beat up Commanders. And it's like everybody wants to make excuses for why we're where we're at. But then I looked it up, and let's compare it to our ultimate nemesis, the Green Bay Packers, which I got into an argument with my Pins and Wins podcast bro, Dimes, big-time Packers fan, and he pointed out, tried to say, well, we haven't beaten anybody, blah, blah, blah. So, let me look at this. The Packers have beaten the Lions. That's a suitable win. They beat the Commanders 3-8, the Bengals 3-8, the Cardinals 3-8, Giants 2-10, the 6-5 Steelers, the 4-7 Vikings, but lost to the Panthers, the Browns, and couldn't beat the Cowboys. Ended up with a tie. Everybody's saying, "Oh, they're going to win the North." Explain that one to me, because yes. We beat the Commanders. Yes, we beat the Bengals. Yes, we beat the Giants. We beat both the Steelers and the Vikings. The only difference is we got monkey stomped by the Lions.
And we bullshit lost to the Ravens.
Yes.
So it's like what, we have said, and I harp on throughout the week. It's Chicago. They don't want to give any respect. They don't want to give any love to Chicago. And that's why I was talking about Patrick Mahomes. 300 some odd yards, no touchdowns. Well, that's MVP caliber.
Oh, yeah.
But
and
Caleb Williams plays a solid game, a little over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, nothing. So, to answer your question, and to steal it from Herm Edwards, you play to win the game.
And like Caleb said in the interview afterwards, they don't choose who they play. Right. Anybody that thought about the Vikings were going to be this bad going into the season, they were in the tied for first in the division last year.
Absolutely. So let me ask you a question. So, going on with, when the Giants beat the Bills in the Super Bowl the first time, it came down to a last-second field goal. Is anybody saying, oh, they won the Super Bowl by a field goal?
And look at the Chiefs. How many times that they won with a Harrison Butker
I'm just saying,
field
right?
goal.
So, like you said, we don't choose our schedule. The Chiefs don't choose their schedule. Nobody chooses their schedule. So if we lost to, say, let's just say the Giants and the Raiders, and I'm not saying that I'm better than them because I'm not. The experts would say, yep, typical Bears. You can't beat the teams that you're supposed to beat.
That's the Bears being the Bears.
So what? We weren't supposed to beat the Minnesota Vikings, but we did. I mean,
we should have beat them the first week.
I'm just saying. Chicago doesn't get any love because it's Chicago. And that's why,
and also because Caleb Williams, everybody wants to talk trash about, is our quarterback. But guaranteed, I guarantee you, if we still had Justin Fields and the stars aligned and had the same record, you wouldn't hear them bashing our quarterback because guaranteed he would have to be running for his life. But Caleb Williams is a special talent. Everybody's starting to realize it now because we're winning. You say it all the time, winning cures everything.
Absolutely.
Because they're starting to realize he's the quarterback we wanted him to be.
I'm just looking upstairs. Sorry, I'm being a stat guy real quick.
Oh, do your thing. I'll take a minute. Have a nice little beverage.
So,
Midway juice.
I just want to point out something. As I said on a few shows ago, MVP isn't always the one with the best stats. It isn't always 5,000 yards or 50,000 or 50 touchdowns or 2,000 yards rushing.
Unless they're a quarterback,
right?
Because if the quarterback's got 50 touchdowns records, they're getting it automatically. But you have Saquon, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase having
and right
the
now,
stats.
Jackson Smith and the Jigba is probably on his way to the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
I would just like to say you guys want to bash Caleb Williams, I'm going to tell you exactly the two reasons. It's my opinion. It's not the opinion of this show or Will. It's mine. It's one, because it's a Chicago Bear quarterback. Don't want to give love to any Chicago Bear quarterback. Two, he paints his nails, and I'm guessing that the upper management think that he's gay and it'd be a bad look, but whatever. Fuck that. It's stupid. Anyway.
The funny thing is, I don't think he is. It's just his mother was a nail technician.
Absolutely. And currently, according to NFL Red Zone, I don't know if you can say it. Okay, whatever. Caleb Williams is 10th in passing. And I just like to say who's ahead of him. Justin Herbert, okay. But Josh Allen is only at 2,700 yards. Caleb Williams has 2,568. Okay. And then you got Matthew Stafford, Hall of Famer, is at 2,800. But
right now, even though him and Drake May are going back and forth,
but I
the MVP front.
I think Drake May. I mean,
Stafford.
Yeah, but I want to tell you who's below Caleb Williams: Jordan Love, Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield, who was talked about as MVP frontrunner. Mr. Jalen Hurts is below him. So I'm just saying the guy is doing exactly what he was brought into Chicago, the #1 overall draft pick. I just want to get this analogy. I'm going to hand it back over to you. To everybody who's watching this show, let's say you go and apply for a job, right? And they say, we want you to come in, we want you to do this job. But here's some shitty training, okay? Here you go.
There have been many jobs I've had that.
Really?
You get trained better doing the job than you were by the people that trained you to do the job.
So everybody who wants to trash Caleb Williams, it's fine. It's your prerogative, right? I want you to go to a job. I want you to have the most shittiest fucking training.
And horrible boss.
And I want that at the end of that production line and or whatever it is that you're doing, I want you to have not a lot of talent that gave up, okay? And I want you, in your first full year, to have an incredible, I don't want to say stats, but I want to say an incredible output, and then I want you to go to a different job. No, I want you to go to a different department.
Or get under new management.
Right, and go to a different department, and you get incredible support who believes in you and holds you accountable. And then you're on your way.
And they bring you coworkers that are going to help maximize what you do best.
That's what I want.
Because not only did Ben Johnson become our coach, best decision that we did, and everybody wants to knock Ryan. Oh, he should have been fired. I think he got saddled in that he refused.
I think sometimes too. Yeah.
George got in the way. Our old president, nor here or there.
Yep.
That's in the past. We're moving forward.
Yeah. And so, like I said, all you people who watch the show and, Caleb Williams, like I said, go do a job where you have no training. You're just throwing in there, like, here you go, this is what you were going to do. And then I want you to go to another department where not only, like, what you said, you brought in coworkers that are going to elevate you and elevate themselves and work together. And I'm tired of the Caleb Williams bashing. I'm tired of.
I'm not tired of the whole team bashing.
Yep.
Because, like I said, everybody's saying, "Oh, we beat the Steelers, but they didn't have Aaron Rodgers." You know, you beat a. You had won with a field goal against the Commanders, would have beat up Jaden Daniels.
Can I interrupt? So last year, Jaden Daniels threw a Hail Mary, but he's great. But we win by a field goal, and we win. We won a field goal. So stupid. I hate it.
Cincinnati, if it wasn't for the Colston Loveland play, you're not going to win that game. Who cares? Winning is winning, and there's so many times. Like, look at the game, the Chiefs and the Colts. The Chiefs had no reason to win that game.
Yeah.
And what did they do? They tied it up, put it into overtime, and they won with a field goal.
But that's okay, though, because it's the Chiefs. But the Bears can't do it.
And nobody wants to talk about our next opponent losing against the Cowboys, who we monkey stomped. And they lost to the Giants earlier in the season. Wins that they should have had, everybody expected them to have, and they lost. I got a buddy, my bro Chacho, big-time Eagles fan. He literally said to me that he thinks we're going to win this game. Because, one, they're banged up. You know, now there's questions of the health of Saquon Barkley. If Saquon Barkley's not 100% and has to take a little bit off of Jalen Hurts, I think we're winning that game. That's my wishful thinking. A lot of it has to do with whether our defense holds up.
I'm going to wait till tomorrow to see the final report.
Because supposedly some guys are coming back.
So, as always, you know, we are never close with our fucking predictions. But I do want to say something.
Not even one bit.
And before the game, you know, we were out there, and I said to you, DJ Moore needs to step up.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And
boy,
DJ Moore
did he.
TF, I don't want to swear, the fuck up. Sorry, I lied. I do like to swear.
Gosh, quarter.
Stepped up, and I got to tell you, even though I got Swift off of him in fantasy, right?
I
and I knew that he had
guy.
He
got
actually
another
literally
touchdown.
has the whole entire offensive starting lineup in his fantasy. But anyways,
Let's see.
No,
I got
Santos.
Caleb Williams. I've got Roman Dunze. I've got Colston Loveland. I've got Kyle Monungai.
I think you
At one point, I had the Montez Sweat because we picked defensive players in our league.
I actually think you got Eric Bieniemy on your roster too. Anyways, I'm just saying.
Did you see? Speaking of Bieniemy, did you see that when we had the one fumble, him ripping into? I believe it was. Did Swift have the fumble?
Yeah, it was fumble. Yeah, because I have him in fantasy. I lost points. But anyways, I'm loving the fact that DJ Moore stepped up.
Yes.
But he wasn't. You know, he scored 2 touchdowns. The one was wide open. I know because we played blah blah. I know. But anyways. What I'm saying though is instead of pounding his chest and doing one of these whatever, he just threw the ball in the stands. Everybody celebrate. Now, it's very clear that Roma Dunze is on his way to be the number 1 wide receiver. We get that. And Roma Dunze has been MIA for a couple weeks, but is that stopping our team?
That would
because Loveland's stepping up.
And they were talking about that. How many times did we hear going into the beginning of the season that we picked the wrong tight end?
Yeah.
And Colston Loveland now has the same number of touchdowns as Tyler Warren. Yeah. I mean, and you don't hear much about Tyler Warren now.
I was, yeah.
You're picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm picking that shit up. But what I'm saying though is like, this is the culture of our team, right? So let's look at.
And we're feeding off of the culture of the coach.
Let's look at other teams, right? I don't like to use this word, but sometimes people are a cancer to their team. I hate that word. I'm sorry, but we have to use it, right? If people aren't getting catches, touches, this, everything, they and they're winning, they bring it up,
and they're going to be on the other side of the field tomorrow.
But yeah. Roma Dunze was the number 1 wide receiver for a while. Cole Kmet was the number 1. DeAndre Swift was the number 1. And now it's Loveland. It's going back to DJ Moore. It's going back to Monungai from Rutgers, 6th round pick. Watch him. He's going to be an
I
all-pro.
thought he was a 7th-round pick.
I think it's 6th. But anyway, I can't count.
No, he was a 7th-round pick because he was the 7th-round pick we got from trading away Khalil Herbert.
Right. So I have been right. Make me question myself.
He's our Isaiah Pachenko.
He's in my head. But anyways, I'm just saying though, right? The Canadian Eagle went down. I forget his name.
Theo Benedict, and then Ozzy
Same thing.
Trapillo, and he's going to have his first start today. He might have just.
No, he started last week.
No,
he started last week.
Did he?
Yeah, because Benedict was out.
And so he's going again this week. They're thinking he took the job.
Okay, but anyway, so the point of my whole spiel was next man up, and that's the way it is. There is none of this. Oh, I only got one catcher or this or that. I see.
I mean, you saw Rome celebrating when DJ got the touchdown.
Listen, we don't practice what we're going to do here, okay? We just don't. You knew exactly what I was going to say because I saw DeAndre Swift celebrating Monungai's touchdown.
Roma did say celebrating DJ Moore's touchdown.
The 7th-round pick is taking your job, and everybody's in this together because it doesn't matter.
Because all that matters is winning.
Because
winning.
I've said it before, trust me. But, let's just talk about A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's not getting touches. Fuck this shit. You got me on your fantasy team. Take me out. You just won a Super Bowl. Shut the fuck up.
And the ultimate example I will use that I give a lot of credit for is you asked this, I believe last week, where's Saquon Barkley been?
Oh, yeah, where is he?
Because Saquon Barkley is not the focus of the offense this year, and he hasn't said a word.
Nope.
Not one bit.
Nope.
Because what did he get? He's got a ring that the Eagles put on his finger.
Yep. And that's why I know one show we talked about, would you rather have,
Would you rather be the star of a losing franchise, or would you rather be a part of a winning franchise?
I mean, so let me ask you a question. If you were playing a professional sport and you had a championship ring, that's something that can never be taken.
Not one bit.
Look at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was the most points scored in the NBA.
6 MVPs.
Records are made to be broken. It doesn't matter. You get that championship ring. It's something they can never take away from you.
Absolutely.
And look at look at AJ Brown. Look at what's going on in other people. Look at our team. Not one person.
You haven't heard anything from Cole Kmet with the fact that he's been replaced by Colston Loveland. If you want to deny that, you're foolish. You haven't heard anything from when Rome has a big game. You don't hear anything from DJ. DJ steps up. You don't hear anything from Rome.
Luther
Burton makes a play. You don't hear anything from the others. The defense. I mean,
we'll get to the defense in a minute. Remember Luther Burden? Remember in the beginning of the season, I'm like, dude, I want to get a Luther Burden.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of a sudden he wasn't doing anything. And then the Dallas game came, and I'm like, oh, maybe. And then he kind of went down. But now he stepped into a room because, I don't know, like, Olympidius Zacchaeus.
Zacchaeus.
Come on.
Oz. Let's just call it Oz.
We just got Monungai down, okay? So give us some time on that. So now Luther Burden is a role player who's accepted it. And you don't hear any complaints from somebody who tweeted out,
I'm going to be torching your team for 200 yards, 3 tutties every game. And now he hasn't even gotten close to, even 2 a game. So,
but I'm just, I love our team. I get pissed off as a fan. Like I said, the Bills have so much to cheer for. This team, it's finally the Bears' turn. But let's talk about our defense. Or, hold on, the lack of
the fact that we had no linebackers. Our secondary is still the second stringers. No Nashawn Wright. That dude, yeah. Now tied with Byard for the league lead.
Wait, is that why you sent me the text with Byard?
Yeah, because they showed him pumping up the defense. Kevin Byard. I'm just saying, it's just art. And I think the smartest decision Ryan Poles made during the season is bringing in Chauncey I always get it messed up.
No,
C.J. Gardner Johnson.
You have to call him what my wife.
Oh yeah,
Sauce Gardner Minshew or something.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner Minshew.
That's why you were laughing.
And I'm
That's
like,
why.
wait a minute, what the hell are you talking about? We don't have Gardner Minshew. And then
Hilarious.
I can't get his first name right. I try to mix it up. That's better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sauce Gardner Gardner Minshew. He has just put such a positive vibe on our defense when we're playing with plug and play. We had no.
I can't name.
We had no starters. We didn't have Edmonds. We didn't have Noel Sewell. So what happened? Darko Jackson, who we picked up.
7th round, yeah.
Trade. Yeah.
And
he was familiar with Dennis Allen. He had 15 tackles in that game.
And he was given the game ball in the locker room.
Yes.
But, again, if this was last year, we would have gotten blown out 52 to probably 3.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the culture, and that is just, I love it. I love the fact that it's next man up, and I love how just, like, I was concerned. I'm like, okay, no linebackers. Okay, what's going to go on? But we held our own.
And then the first play, that interception from Wright, and it's Mason. Who gives a shit?
Oh,
the guy had a winning record in games that he's played for the Steelers, especially when he stepped in. But nobody wants to talk about that. Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing. I don't think that would have made a difference.
I mean,
we shut down DK enough to where we won the game. Their rushing attack, not that big of a deal.
No.
If it wasn't for the strip sack of T.J. Watt, which obviously it's expected him to get sacks,
we called that.
It wouldn't even been as close as it was because our offense did what they needed to do, and our defense held them down when we needed them to.
And we talked about it on last show. I call it the Michael Jordan effect. I mean, there's not a lot of players in the world that can, one was Kobe Bryant, obviously, but T.J. Watt, it doesn't matter. He could have one tackle, but that tackle is going to be a strip sack fumble, but we knew that going in.
Like when we play Cleveland, we know Myles Garrett's going to get to Caleb.
But he only had one.
And it was the strip sack. And then I don't remember hearing his name
at
all, other than the fact that if it wasn't for the fact that his brother was commentating the game. And I will say this. I had an issue with Tom Brady commentating our one game early in the season with the fact that we were playing the Raiders the following week. Everybody that wants to say, J.J. Watt shouldn't have been commentating in that game, who gives a shit? J.J. Watt, yes, his brother was in the game. What does that matter?
So does that mean Darryl Johnson shouldn't call Cowboys games?
He still commentated the way that he needed to, but was able to have an awesome moment watching his brother break his family record.
What's wrong with that? I mean, if I'm up in the booth and my friend or my family is doing something great, are you not supposed to? Yeah,
it's not like he's calling down to the field, hey, TJ, this is what Caleb said that he was looking forward to doing.
Absolutely.
Get the fuck out of here.
Absolutely.
J.J. Watt is a legend. It makes you wonder what his career would have been like without injuries. But his brother was in the game. So what? Family moment. It doesn't change. He still commentated the game the way it needed to be. He highlighted what we were doing well, and he gave an interesting perspective on this shouldn't have happened, should have gone this way.
Mm-hmm. So, we had 2 interceptions, right? Who got the other one?
That's an excellent question. It wasn't Byard because
Deshaun Wright got one, and then...
Just give me a second.
I know we had 2.
We had 2?
I thought so. I'm old.
No, I'm joking.
Oh.
Stats. Now I get to go back to being the stats guy.
You have to. And for all those listeners out there, that's just my dog.
No, we only had one.
We only had one. Okay.
We had 2 sacks from Montez Sweat.
Because the thing that you had sent me about Booker being back, so So Booker, I owe you an apology. I was calling you out several times. I know that you're a preseason MVP.
I was all about it from the moment that we drafted him.
But so we always talk predictions, and we're always way off. But I want to talk about just before we get into the next segment. I was telling you before we got on the show. I was up last night and I was watching this reel, and Ben Johnson went to Brisker and said, "Go win this game." Do you remember the last play of the game?
Yep. He batted down the ball.
I'm just saying. I can't say for certainty that if it was Eberflus, if that would have been motivating enough, but because of the belief,
still think Brisker would have been in concussion protocol if Eberflus was still our head coach, because that whole,
I just think, the whole Ben Johnson, the belief is there, and I'm just saying, he said, go out there and end this, or make a play, whatever it was, and he does, and he ends the game, and that's just something that we have not had, even when in 2018 we didn't have it. And I'm going to tell you right now, Aaron Rodgers was hurt, Matt Stafford sucked, blah, 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 and we had the Khalil Mack effect. Khalil Mack was fucking people up left. We get that, okay. There was nothing in 2018 that resembles anything in this year, and this year is so untouched right now that if one of the coaches said, hey, you need to go out there and get an interception, I'm just saying it probably could happen because the belief is there. And that's one of the things that...
Exactly. And it's like, on both sides, I pointed out to you last week that the feeling that I have about this season has been so special because it's either been our defense is horrible, our offense was getting better. Our offense is horrible, our defense is dominant. Because in 2018, yeah, we had a few great plays on the offense, but it was more about our defense. Even in 2014 when we went to the Super Bowl, it was our defense was dominant. And this year, everybody wants to knock us. And this is the funniest part, I said this, that pisses me off the most. We lead the NFL in takeaways. We are leading the NFL in point differential off of takeaways. We have the second-ranked rushing offense in the league.
But we're nothing.
We have the most big plays in the league. What more do we need to do other than for you to finally give the Chicago Bears the respect they deserve? It has nothing to do with how you feel about our quarterback, because there's a number of people that hate on Jalen Hurts every week.
Oh, yeah.
And the NFL fans hate on Patrick Mahomes because of how much he wins. When are we finally going to get the love of this makes sense? The Bears are being the Bears of we're winning.
And I'd just like to point out that there's X amount of games left in the season. If we win one game, we are guaranteed a winning record. Something that has not happened
since 2018.
But to answer
and what happened in 2018? And I don't see a double doink happening with that. Because one, Ben Johnson is cold-blooded. If we're in a situation where we need a play instead of a field goal, he's going to go for it. How many times have we been fourth down in this and he still went for it?
I was just saying this while you were talking, and you had said, we have said for a while now, when is Chicago going to get respect? We saw the highlight of Jameis Winston for the Giants last week, right?
Yes.
Number one pick several years ago. I think he should be starting somewhere. I know it's not going to be the Giants because that's Jackson Dart. He's probably coming back. He made an exceptional play, right? And he scored a touchdown, right?
Uh-huh.
Exceptional play. He was asked later after the game, he was like, I've always been an athlete. So that is okay, but Caleb Williams is making plays. And I'm telling you, I'm going to reiterate it again. I think it is because he paints his nails for whatever. It's his reason for whatever.
And the whole diva moniker that was put on him coming out of the draft of, oh, he's going to be a nightmare and so on and so forth.
Well, I'm telling you what, I'm loving this fucking nightmare this year.
Don't wake my ass up.
I was going to say, you're right. But I'm just saying, why is it okay for a third-string backup who should be a starter for a franchise? Let me make that clear. Jameis Winston is not a bad quarterback, okay? He didn't have what Baker Mayfield...
I got another one for you. Hold on.
He did not, in Tampa, he did not have what Baker Mayfield and Tom Brady had, okay? Let me just say that, okay? But anyways, it's okay to highlight a third-string quarterback for making a great play. No fucking doubt about it. But Caleb Williams is making plays, and it's no love.
I got another one for you. Shedeur Sanders. Everybody was christening him as he should have been a first-rounder. Yes, he went in the 5th round, whatever. That one play that he made where he threw it to, I think it was Isaiah Bond, and everybody saying, oh, this is the guy that he should have been. And then he comes in not last week, the week before, didn't play well.
Nope.
Everybody said, oh, this is who we thought he was going to be. And then he plays a great game and is the first Cleveland Browns quarterback to win his
start.
Yeah. And everybody wants to say, oh, he is who we thought he was going to be. He's a 5th round pick who's only relevant because his dad is Deion Sanders. But Caleb Williams, Houdini work, 5 game winning drives, and you want to say, oh, they're lucky. A game-winning drive is a game-winning drive no matter what.
This is what we talk about a lot during the week is, holy shit, like, so if Shedeur Sanders was on Chicago and he was having this season, would it make a difference?
Oh, everyone was, oh, he's exactly where they wanted to be. It was, if we had Jaden Daniels, and Jaden Daniels was doing the exact same thing he did last year, or he's doing what Caleb was, oh, you got the guy, coming off the Heisman. It's because he wasn't knocked coming out of college. That's the crazy part is, Caleb Williams to me, and yeah, you could say, oh, get the fuck out of here. If Caleb Williams was just a regular player, like you haven't heard anything about Cam Ward, other than he was the consensus #1 pick. Caleb Williams was the consensus #1 overall pick since his sophomore year in college. We were just fortunate enough that we got him because we made an amazing trade that not only got us DJ Moore, but got us Carolina's pick. And then thank you, Carolina, for not playing well. Plain and simple. And thank you, Lovie Smith, for doing what you did, being the ultimate Bears.
Went for the win, son of a bitch, yep.
And the stars were aligned. We were destined to get a guy like Caleb Williams. And then he unfortunately had to deal with the hardship of having Matt Eberflus as his coach and go through, get beat up, still didn't get hurt. And then the stars aligned. Ben Johnson saw the ability 2 years ago, Thanksgiving game. He's standing there on the sidelines watching Caleb Williams work.
Pointed that out, yeah.
And he's not talking to his offensive players. He's not doing anything. He's sitting there just watching, like, I'm going to coach that guy next year. Yeah. And I'm going to take him to the next level. And what has happened? Caleb Williams is playing lights out. Mm-hmm. And everybody wants to say, oh, we're lucky with the wins that we have. But yet, Philly's beaten the Giants once, lost to them. Lost to the Cowboys. We beat them. Mm-hmm. It was like, why is it okay for these other teams to beat lesser teams and get their respect, but because it's us and we're doing something we were never expected to do, all of a sudden, okay, that's okay. You guys are now just lucky. And
we're always lucky.
Yeah.
But, you brought up Cam Ward. I just want to say something. I think he's on pace to get sacked more times than Caleb Williams. But we don't hear anything about that, right? So there you go. I had to point that out. We don't hear anything about that.
And we barely heard about when Jaden is before he got hurt. You know,
He wasn't having a good season. I don't know. I'm just saying.
if it wasn't for the fact that Drake May is having the season that he's having,
Excellent season.
you would not hear about anybody else from our draft class being that Justin Fields got benched with the Jets. Everybody was saying, "Oh, we should have kept Justin. You know, you picked the wrong guy," and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just very frustrating.
And we talk
People
about
saying, "Oh, we should have had Bryce Young."
You can't even see over the offensive. Sorry, my bad. But we talk about that every week. You know, we were like, you know, we send stuff that we see on social media and our thoughts, and it's just dumb, and it doesn't. You know, it's just if we beat Philadelphia, right?
Which is a viable option. We have a legitimate shot to beat Philly, but go on.
And even if we don't, it's not going to knock us down because Ben Johnson has proven, and the team has proven, the coaching staff has proven, hey, okay, we lost a heartbreaker to Minnesota 1. We should have won that game. We got monkey stomped by Detroit. It happens. And then we've come back 4 straight. I mean, Ashton Genty, 3 touchdowns against us, right? He was due. That's okay. But the Bears are on their second 4-game win streak. They're going to go up against the. They're solid. I don't think they're runaway. I don't think they're runaway. Be scared of them. I think they're solid, obviously. And anytime we know Barkley can take it to the house, they got great wide receivers. They got a really good tight end. Our defenders are coming back. I think we have a legitimate shot
Absolutely.
at beating them. So if we beat Philadelphia, it's going to be Barkley wasn't 100%. Or A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts isn't on the same page. Or
they're going to make so many excuses as to why we shouldn't have won. You know,
but if we lose,
yes, we beat an inferior Vegas team, even though we won because we got a blocked field goal at the end. The Commanders were in the NFC Championship game last year. We beat them on a field goal. They had to beat up quarterback. And we beat the Vikings, which, again, we should have beat them twice. We didn't. We won the second game the way we should have the first one. Aaron Rodgers wasn't there, okay? I think we would have won regardless. And this game right here will be the let's shut everybody up.
So, you know,
especially a national televised game.
Black Friday, absolutely. And I get out at 3 o'clock. I'll be home by 3:15. I'm running home. I'm running home. But anyways, I just want to say something real quick. So, the Washington Commanders, Gene Daniels, the difference between us and them this year. Where's their next man up mentality? Didn't they go on and get Deebo Samuel?
Yeah.
Okay, but you know, they're not winning. We have lost. If I looked correctly, and I could be wrong, I know we're going to get comments. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. We have lost 32 or more starters throughout the season.
We lost our starting left tackle. We lost all of our linebackers. We've lost both of our starting corners.
But we're winning, and the Commanders are not winning. And yeah, they have similar injuries. You see where I'm going with this? So last year, the Commanders, everybody's like, you guys should have got Jane Daniels. And I said, yeah, okay, he would have been sitting home watching Caleb Williams, and the Commanders go to the NFC Championship. But however, over 32 injuries to starters, and we're winning. Where are the Commanders, sir?
Where are the Commanders? We're the equivalent of when the 49ers kept losing everybody during their season, but they still kept winning because, you know, Brock Purdy, even though...
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's like when a team loses players and somebody steps up and they're still winning, you don't hear everybody else saying that for other teams. And it's just the most frustrating part about this season is the fact that we are making plays. We got monkey stomped by the Lions. We have been in every other game since. We should the shoulda, coulda, wouldas with the Ravens. We had the opportunity,
It was a fucking
but
touchdown.
guaranteed, if we had won that game, it's because Lamar Jackson wasn't there. If we had beaten the Vikings the first game, it's because they got J.J. McCarthy as their, and look at him now.
Yeah, whatever. But
9.
yeah. So,
9. Yeah, there's the reason why 9 is no in other languages, but.
Yeah. So tomorrow's the game. And I know later on I know that it's Thanksgiving. We're gonna get our eat on.
Talking turkey and touchdowns.
So, give me your prediction, sir, for tomorrow.
I think we're gonna shock the world, but it's gonna be another. It's gonna be one of those games where it goes back and forth, but it's gonna be a low-scoring affair where we get a play when we need to, they get a play, but I think we're going to end up winning that game 24-21.
Okay. And MVP?
The MVP is going to be a defensive player. I think it's going to be Montez Sweat because Philly's offensive line is banged up, and I think he's going to get to Jalen Hurts. And I honestly think we're going to win because we're going to figure out a way to stop the push. They even showed in last week of Brisker pointing out when they stopped them on that one play, and that's equivalent to basically what the tush push is. Yep. And I think we're going to make them realize they can't do that. It's just as long as our offensive line holds up against their stout defensive line, I think we really have a legitimate chance of shocking people in the end, and it's going to wake everybody up to that we are a real deal.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it would be a shock. I just think you got to believe. No, the experts are saying it'd be a shock. I mean,
I was going to say especially after losing to the Cowboys last week. Yep. If they lose to us, they're Philly is crumbling again. Let's give Bears props.
Of course not. I mean, I think we're going to win. I think we're going to have our bumps and bruises. I don't think it's going to be a typical Bears offense putting up 20 or more points. I think the Philly defense is solid. You got to give Jalen Carter. You got to You got to give him, and they're you got Cooper DeJean or Cooper DeJean. I'm sorry,
whatever.
So they do have a solid defense, but we also have a player from their team that kind of knows their scheme a little bit.
And that's
Gardner Johnson Minshew, Sauce Gardner Minshew, whatever.
And that's a very key point because, correct me if I'm wrong,
he played for
them last year.
And this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Chicago's his 13. But I think that Caleb is going to – he's not going to have a great game. I think he's going to make a mistake. It happens. But I think with our coaching staff and I think with the belief, I think we're going to figure it out. And I think a heavy dose of Manungai and Swift.
And Swift up against his old team.
Yep.
He's going to want to ball out and show them that you guys made a mistake. Let me walk.
And I just think it's going to be a heavy dose of the run game. It's going to be a defensive battle. I think we're going to win 14-13. But I think we're going to lead the whole entire game. And I just think that I think it's going to come down to that tush push. And I think we're just going to figure something out. But my player of the game is going to be Manungai. I think he's going to get at least 80 in a tutty. But I just think our defense is going to figure shit out. And I think if we smash AJ Brown in the mouth, literally, because he's a prima.
Not dirty, of course, but yeah.
Fuck it, punch him off. I think
we got a guy on that side of the field who's got a track record of pissing off wide receivers. Just saying.
I think A.J. Brown is a prima donna who's a little iffy. He doesn't get 1,800 catches a game, but we do have to look out for Dallas Goedert, and we do have to look out for Devontae Smith. Can't rule that out. But however, what I have learned this season is our team comes together when we need it the most, and I think it's just going to be 14-13. They got a great kicker, Jake Elliott, right?
Yeah,
they got a great kicker.
I think he's still their kicker.
So yeah, I think and MVP is going to be Kyle with 85 and a tutty.
Actually, can I change my player of the game? No, I
suppose.
I think our player of the game is going to be Colston Loveland.
Really?
I think he's going to end up getting. He's going to have the 2 tutties because in the red zone we're going to let him do his thing. But I want to ask you one last question before we pack it in. And
wait, I have one more question, but you go.
Okay, I have a question.
I have a question. Go ahead.
I was watching a thing yesterday, and they were talking about how we have the better coach going into this game.
Oh, I think Nick Sirianni's fucking junk.
I mean, I watch on Sportsman like every morning, and Chris Canty talks about how Nick Sirianni is not as great of a coach as they make him out to be. He was on verge of getting fired before they won last year. Before getting Saquon Barkley and letting him do his thing. And that's not far-fetched of Ben Johnson is the next big coach.
I think so.
His coaching tree.
Yep.
He's going to be that coach that they say, like everybody talking about Declan Doyle is already being touted as a possible future head coach because he's under Ben Johnson's learning tree.
And look at all the people that came from the McVay tree. We can even go back to the 80s of the Bill Parcells and the Bill Walsh.
And the Mike Shanahan.
Yeah, Mike Shanahan.
Including his son. I read a thing that they put Kyle Shanahan over Ben Johnson, and I forget who was the other coach. Why?
Name recognition. That's the cat. The cat wants him, but we're not letting the cat in.
So, but yes. Okay, what's your question?
My question to you is, we don't see it a lot. Do you think there might be a little razzle-dazzle, little sorry, if you could see my one cat, she's I'm so sorry.
There's almost enough space.
But every now and again, there's a razzle-dazzle. There's
like
the triple reverse.
Yes.
Do you think we will see something like that, and or maybe a fake punt?
Fake punt, no. Razzle-dazzle play, yes. Because I remember when we were watching the game and they did the double reverse, and your wife's like, no trick. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's what Ben Johnson does. He was known for doing trick plays in Detroit. The flea flicker, trick play. That was a trick play.
Basically, the Philly special with Caleb catching the touchdown.
Don't call it the Philly special. It was the Chicago special first, which Trey Burton and whatnot.
Yes, I remember that.
It was ours first.
Yeah. Mitch Trubisky, Trey Burton. Yeah. Remember we got Trey Burton from Philadelphia because they won the Super Bowl that year, and then we
and everybody talking about our alliance this year because we beat for them who they needed, they beat for us, and now the alliance is over. We're gonna eat some Eagles for Black Friday after eating some turkey.
Let's do it.
So, but I want to say another thing that I am thankful for is doing this show with you.
Appreciate
you have just I've had so much fun doing this. Talking Bears, which I love doing. You know, anybody that knows me, I drive them nuts. My 2 biggest outlets. I have 2 podcasts. Pins and Wids, because I love talking wrestling. And Bears Bros, because I love talking Bears. It's what I do. And
I have a great time doing this. It just aligned to where my other podcast, we switch days, and you have Thursdays off, and I just said, hey, listen, we might be able to do the thing that we had talked about a few years ago, and I see us doing this for years to come.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's fun. I love the fact that we don't script anything. We don't like have an itinerary, and most of the shit we talk about is something that
Just
we think
two
about every
crazy
week.
dudes talking Bears.
That's all we do.
And so, to our Bears Bro family, to our JK Rewatchable Hour family, to my Pins and Wins family, to everybody, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Be
guys.
safe. And as always, bear down.
I don't have gang signs. I don't know.